artists and passport holders. Austin, player, who is not only a passport holder but esteemed artist, and of course very special Selecta, whom we are welcoming as something that we are very proud of. We are the space platform, blockchain platform that recognizes tokens and cryptocurrency and engages them in our participation in space because they stand up for something bigger than just another transaction on the chain. So I would like to welcome Selecta as a new member of our passports community, and I will be also inviting her to share. Now, let me catch a breath because I am at the location that I did not plan to be. But if you are a producer of the show, you have to deal with circumstances as they happen. We have a temperature and climate emergency in Los Angeles. We expect about 107 or more degrees. And I was advised that standing on the Olympics stadium today in the temperature that we are going to have is probably not the best way to be comfortable and able to welcome you to this show. However, to stay connected to our mission and embracing Olympics, I am standing just up the road from SoFi Stadium. It's actually a few miles, but symbolically it's almost next to us. And SoFi Stadium is a brand new location where Los Angeles Olympics will be held. It's a stadium where Rams are playing the games. It's the most innovative, incredible, but not very abundant in art, Sam, stadium. And this is where Olympics swimming is going to take place. So it's just down the road. And otherwise, I am next to the piece of land that I've been trying to acquire because it's next to Apollo 11 former factory. So there is a touch of the moon. And I am at the Hilton where I asked them to put a video of the fashion show because we are going to talk about Lady Rocket Space Fashion too. And this is the place where sometimes I host my Lady Rocket Space Fashion pop-ups. So this is a compromise between not being able to be physically at the beautiful Olympic Stadium at USC. But good news is that I will be able to have a next incredible passport Copernic Space and of course our guests from Denver event at the SoFi Stadium Executive Suites. Welcome, welcome. So let me recognize Watson Peacock, if you can welcome our guests, and then we are going to move to Donna and Samuel, and then I'm going to give you some strategic updates about how this event is going to manifest itself in incredible, brand new, educational, inspirational, and also coming up with a very unique way to engage art, students, and Copernic Space and Spaceable's ability to transform your regular NFTs, even your art, into so-called space assets. And we are going to invite some of our passport holders and recognize artists whose art, like Edster, already made it to Paris Olympics. Very quickly, I am wearing a prototype design of something that was handmade by a Hispanic artist who lives next to Kennedy Space Center as one of the test items for Lady Rocket Foundation and token celebrating space, Gemini 5. Okay, but I will be taking it off to show you another wearable art connected to NFTs that I was recognized for when I crashed Paris Olympics to put on the stage NFTs Art Copernic Space and you guys and my foundation. Love you. Welcome. It's going to be a little bit different than our planned agenda because of the change of the locations. We are also welcoming opportunity to multicast and multi-stream this event. So after this event, most likely you'll be able to be seen also on some other platforms, which is what Donna will explain. So, Walton Peacock, as a co-host, as Spaceable's curator, please help me welcome our audience. Oops, looks like you dropped. Okay, I am inviting you back. Okay, inviting you back, inviting you back. Behind me, I asked, as a matter of fact, to show Milan Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week show because Paris Fashion Week is taking place as we speak. Okay,
Okay, I'm
so
back.
you are
Can you hear
back.
me?
Yes, we can.
I don't know what happened.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay,
Fantastic. So tell
perfect.
us about Spaceables and what's happening, and welcome in your incredible role to help us curate a relationship with artists and incredible collectors that I will mention to you. Welcome, Walton
Yes,
Peacock.
thank you. Thank you. Spaceables has been my baby, I guess, for the last 2 years, helping launch Spaceables for Copernic Space with Lady Rocket and with Grant. Spaceables aims to be a niche platform that focuses on space art, music, fashion. When we relaunch it, it will not just be digital art, it will be all kinds of high end art as well. We have 4 artists that we are looking at to launch in the new lunar luxury section of Spaceables when we relaunch it, and it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. And we also have several physical artists, including Artist Dutch, that have sculpture on Spaceables. So we are really looking to branch out and to become the end place for anybody interested in space related items. I'm very excited about
But
this.
right, thank you. When Grant and I had a dream of truly changing how relationship between art, space, and even NFTs, which are cool but somehow one-dimensional. Our first NFT event that led to launching and financing Spaceables was actually down the street from Kennedy Space Center in Palm Beach, where we hosted in 2019 the first art event that brought incredible Palm Beach audience, which includes some incredible connoisseurs of art, because we were showcasing physical art, and next to it, its NFT version. And I am thrilled that during last year I was able to endeavor my relationships in a collector's world, an artist's world, and attract to upcoming Spaceables museum quality art collectors and their art who, as a rule of engagement, donate part of the art to the Rocket Foundation and agree to bring the original art into the form of spaceable NFTs and the space asset. There's a difference between NFT and the space asset. And we are sending some incredible examples of the world famous sculptures, collections of European collectors to the moon, also with the philanthropy. Now, this also leads to the fact that we want to use funds created through this type of activities to expand our educational programs that I have led and funded since 2018 formally. Started Lompoc, Vandenberg Space Force Base, where neglected black and Hispanic kids living next door to SpaceX NASA were never offered space exploration, space education that would meet their particular life condition. This is how I funded together with Susan Copeland, going on for what? Over 6 years, is Lady Rocket unique educational programs, which subsequently I took all the way to Lithuania, to Ukraine, to Adriatic Riviera, to Warsaw, and now we're working in Paris because my mission was to bring our American invincibility, support, generosity, philanthropy, and art to the countries that are on the edges of NATO, which are exposed to potential danger of war, and where we should plant our American and space identity. So I am so happy to welcome Donna and her educational accomplishments to join Lady Rocket Foundation and help to expand in Denver area because we are building authenticity of innovative education, which is enhanced by our proprietary way to present education that developed together with NASA VPA. And I want to tell you that I am very happy to let you know that NASA VPL in particular has offered me a new breed of
Hey,
publication.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we can't hear you. I think that your microphone might be covered. It's very hard to hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Uh, is it better now? Hold on just a moment.
There's a lot of echo in it.
Okay, is it better now or
Oh, yeah,
no?
100 times better. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you for letting me know about it. So let me just
Sure.
take off this jacket which was covering my microphone, and thank you for letting me know. And then after Donna speaks, I will tell you about what's on this particular T-shirt, which became unprecedented Olympics, space, fashion, NFT, and crypto T-shirt launched in Paris. Okay, but Donna, thank you for joining us with your team, and thank you for inviting Samuel. We are very much looking forward to hearing from you as an accomplished, world-renowned artist who, in addition to creating incredible artistic values, is passionate about making yourself available to students and bringing a power and significance of art into the classrooms directly by your presence, but also through virtual presence. And we are so delighted to explore how combining what we could do in Denver with our ability to execute incredible delivery of the art in space, to the moon, to the satellites, because listen, we are transforming satellites, and I think Samuel can also speak about it, into the new art galleries and place of engagement with art. So, Donna, welcome. Please introduce yourself. Let's talk about our ambitious plans and what we did with the museum, a space museum last week, and of course we are looking forward to hearing from your son.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I'm actually broadcasting from downtown Denver. I'm at Union Station here downtown, just to kick things off here in Denver, and I'm super excited to be able to bring this programming and be able to launch it here in Denver and also in the Springs, because uh, Denver is a hub not only for art and for fashion, but also for space. We have lots of different space connections here. Uh, One being the Wings Over the Rockies Museum that we actually, Lady Rocket donated something last week for Wings Over the Rockies for them to auction off at a future event to be able to bring some funding into the museum. But we have lots of different connections here, not only to arts and music and space, but also to the Olympics. As you might know, we have the Olympic training facility right in Colorado Springs. So we have so many different connections here. So I feel like Denver is the perfect place to be able to introduce this programming. And I'm more than excited that Samuel has been generous with his time and willing to jump in and be on the ground here with students as we launch this exciting new program.
Thank you so much. I am also delighted, and let me just build on what Donna mentioned about the donation, because it gives you total innovation of our business model, our ability to engage and reward synergistic communities. So the donation that is of historical nature is we actually donated through Lady Rocket Foundation Copernic Space with passport holders' participation about 50,000 minimum in a commercial value space asset. And what it means, it is an art organized, again, not an NFT, but a digital art that is organized as a space asset, meaning it's registered, it's acknowledged, it's recognizable, and it's going to the moon, and then it can be placed on Copernic for an auction or a resale. So we are building completely new ecosystem for philanthropy, for a space business, and elevating also art and artist opportunity to interact with us, not only by creating art and, let's say, depositing it with us, but we are actively creating completely new marketplaces for both space and art. And I am happy to also explore this business model with Getty, who dedicated itself now to promotion of art, science, and cosmos. And I will be discussing it also with LACMA, Los Angeles County Museum of Contemporary Art, and Oscar's museums. So to our passport holders, by having a passport, you have a priority and you have access to our current but also view into our upcoming attractions, promotions, creation of the real communities, so you can participate in elevating, expanding your outreach in a quite extraordinary way, not only on X spaces but also in real life. Speaking of real life, Samuel and I met very much in real life. I think it was 3 years ago at the Art Basel. And I am delighted that we are reconnecting, share the same values, the same passion. And I would love to invite you, Samuel, to grace us with your presence, introduce yourself, and tell us about your vision for interacting with our students in Denver and beyond.
Yeah, Lady Rocket, thank you for having me. It's always so invigorating to see you, and I know you come with a really cool crew on board, so I appreciate it very much as always. And you know, it was pretty magical, honestly, pretty magical to meet you and then Donna through another mutual friend. And it was just kind of, it's cool when you see things come together so beautifully. So, you know, I've had a long-standing relationship with making art related to space. Certainly not the only or first artist to be doing that. That's a passion of a lot of artists from as far back as we can look in history, which is a beautiful thing. But the thing that we didn't have until very recently is true access to space. So when we think about what Copernicus is doing, we think about what Lady Rocket's doing, and we start to think about all the young artists, especially, who have this brand new medium to work with. And I really think of all the things of modern technology as mediums in fine art. You know, they're the paintbrushes of 2024 and beyond. So the biggest thing about that is right now, is as accessible as those have become in the last few years, all these things like rockets, like the ability to go to the moon, like satellites, which I actually have a satellite sitting here next to me as I speak. All these things are much more accessible than they used to be, even just years ago, a couple of years ago. But there's still a huge gap to close between the everyday curious kid who wants to work in these mediums and the absolutely expensive and laborious and technically complicated world that is this technological existence that we have now. So my studio has worked with Artists for Humanity and a number of other groups in America and overseas, just to kind of start to inspire students and kind of put these mediums in front of them in a way that makes them a little more accessible. And obviously, it's one thing to introduce an idea to somebody, something like, you know, using an actual satellite as a medium in fine art. Okay, it's conceptually interesting. It kind of expands how you think about art. But it's a whole other thing to teach people how to engage with that technically. So that's kind of where we're at. But we love the idea of teaming with Donna and Lighthouse to be able to really close this existing gap between these young, hungry, creative minds and space, literally, not just conceptually. You know, we move from, just in the recent human history, we move from space being a conceptual thing to a thing we can actually engage with. You know, the difference between looking at the moon and walking on it is huge. And that just happened, everybody. So that's exciting to me. And we just want to keep making that gap smaller and smaller, especially for the young, hungry minds that are out there trying to do just cool and beautiful things. And so it's just exciting to start to see that happen in a very real way.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let our audience get to know you a little bit better. You have incredible accomplishments as the artist. You also have a relationship with Paris, since we are going to talk about Paris a little bit. So please reward us with talking about some of your artistic accomplishments that you particularly personally value the most.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, my studio's in New York and Seattle, so we're kind of spread between the two, and we have a really cool group of people that are our core group, but it extends into tons of partners that range from Blue Origin and SpaceX to smaller companies like Endurosat over in Bulgaria. So we have this really cool network, and it ranges not only from things in space, but things back on Earth. And kind of when I think about a couple of things that bind humanity, there are only a few of them. There are only a few of them. We don't all speak one language. We don't all live in one place, but there are a couple of cool things that bind us. One is obviously that we exist together in space. And I think about that as being such a special thing. And I think about the constructed human equivalent to that, something like the Olympics. There's hardly anything like the Olympics that binds so many people across so many cultures toward one thing that is constructive and just beautiful to observe. So, you know, I worked for the Vancouver Olympics, the Winter Olympics. I've worked with the 2016 Chicago Olympic bid, and I worked in the 2012 London Olympics in a number of different ways, including having pieces in those arenas. And it's pretty rare and special that we have something that binds us like that. So to bring this idea of the Olympics and these rare things that bind so many together, and combine that to our context, our celestial context that is space, is just a really cool merriment. I think that's a neat thing that, you know, is probably underappreciated. So it's
Yes.
exciting to think about that.
Thank you, and I am very happy to hear that you recognize innovation of the approach, because when I looked at massive concentration of human energy around Paris Olympics, and knowing Paris, knowing its role in culture, I decided to make as big or as small footprint as I could by showing up and claiming the attention and claiming the resources and resourcefulness of Paris Olympics to make a statement presence, which gives Lady Rocket Foundation ownership of being the first who delivered during the Paris Olympics, and of course now I'm working with Los Angeles Olympics on taking Lady Rocket Foundation Copernic Space to the next level. But like Samuel noticed, there is a tremendous synergy between what brings us together to celebrate Olympics and space. It goes all the way to the Greek times, when Greeks decided to brand Olympics with one sentence: faster, higher, together. Of course, in Greek, faster, higher, together. I cannot think about a better way to make a connection between very similar call to action that we have in space. So what I am wearing, since Olympics couldn't accommodate me with the screens to show the NFTs, because everything was hosted where I was invited on the Place de la Concorde, which is phenomenal. Plus next to Hotel Le Crillon, which is, you know, favorite place of the artists, writers. I came up with the idea that if I cannot show our NFTs artists, and I will show you, and we have some of them here in the room, I am going to wear them. Thus, idea of Lady Rocket Olympics / to the Moon fashion line was created, because and was actually welcome, because they said, you know what, now we feel like you are really playing up Parisian style, because Paris is all about fashion. So this is a t-shirt. Let me see if I can find myself. Okay, here it comes. We have Edster in the room. He's a winner of Lady Rocket Olympics to the Moon contest. We have very famous, already bestseller among Dodge community, Lady Rocket taking Dodge to Olympics and the Moon. And we have Adriano, fantastic astronaut with Eiffel Tower. So this was the beginning. And also I want to recognize Dolores, whose beautiful Omega Paris Olympics watch has been also acknowledged and showcased by me in Paris, while we are settling digital rights for potential inclusion of her art in my negotiations with Omega. Now, to be connected and give you the sense of real opportunities. I contribute real connections to the brands and knowing what they are up to. So guess what? Omega is not going to be a sponsor of Olympics anymore because guess what? Louis Vuitton is taking over a lot of other activities for the future Olympics. Plus, we are in Denver. So here's Samuel and Donna, something for consideration. 2 days ago, Louis Vuitton made an announcement that they are taking over pretty much major sponsorship and all the hot aspects of Formula One branding. Denver, Formula One, the League Racket Foundation has already had a project and some of the artists are already involved. But now we can address Olympics, carry on with Olympics education, but also be creative about engaging Formula One, who is owned by one of the Space and Denver Cowboys, John Malone from Denver. So when you have a passport, when you work with us, you also have an access to the not necessarily insiders information because this information happen to be public, but it's not easily recognizable. And most importantly, without us, without passport, probably would be very difficult for you to deploy your brand into it. We've been working with Formula One. I've been part of Formula One on and off for several years. And now Copernic Space and Lead Racket Foundations are taking the next step in proposing a new relationship to them also in Denver. So Samuel, Space, Formula One, great connectivity because Formula One drivers, astronauts, very similar energy, beauty of human being. All of them risk their lives. All of them are using incredible technology. So as a Lady Racket Foundation, I would love to also somehow invite Formula One into our consideration. Speaking of Formula One, I quickly want to recognize player who is in the audience who crafted incredible digital, the token that is physical and digital, showcasing McLaren iconic wheel. It was produced for Formula One lead racket presence at Formula One last year in Las Vegas, and we showcased it during my Formula One pop-up last Sunday with actual Formula One McLaren car behind me. Okay, I am talking about it because I want you to get a sense that we are action driven. We are executing programs that are not available anywhere else. And as a participant, partner, passport holders, you have ability to find your place in this beautiful universe. So Donna, looks like between you, us, Lady Racket Foundation, and Samuel, we are going to create completely new experience for students. And quickly, I want to recognize Dan, who is here with us. And I send you then invitation to speak. For some reason, I cannot connect with you. So might be, Donna, if you can invite Dan also.
Okay, I will invite him right now when I just get finished talking. But I just wanted to turn on my camera just so that you can see that I'm here in beautiful downtown Denver, right here by the Union Station, which is another mode of
Fantastic.
transportation. And yeah, I love the connection between Formula One, Olympics, education, and innovation, but true innovation that only we can bring. And we're going to start right here in Denver.
Yes. And Samuel, I would love to find a way to bring your ability to the locations that are not particularly surrounded by generosity or presence of art. Compton, famous, but still abandoned when it comes to delivering to the educational institutions, empowerment of space and art, and of course, my Lompoc, where since 2018, I've been hosting students, creating art events, inviting them to the SpaceX rocket launches, and I would love to think with you about hosting event that would address what we are playing in Denver, but also build on my presence during the SpaceX rocket launches. And very excited to explore with you what Copernic Space Lead Rocket Foundation created. Ownership of the rocket, physical rocket, as an object of art, which in collaboration with an artist, I hope somewhere can be transformed into the flying art at the price level that is absolutely spectacular. And we are the only company, the only foundation that transform rockets into the ownership. For this purpose, we've negotiated an unprecedented contract that satisfies the rocket company financially, legally. Listen, legally, this is absolute innovation that they can surrender to Lady Rocket Foundation usage of the rocket for the artistic, philanthropic, and entertainment reasons, and we can tokenize it. So speaking of tokenization, speaking of crypto, because we want to avalanche crypto to our energy, I want to invite our very special new passport holder, Xalecta, whose innovation and attitudes and knowledge very much fit our discussion. And then we are going to go back to Samuel, Donna, and some other people who would like to share. So, Selecta, welcome. I'm delighted that you are joining our passports community with your Fred Crypto. Please talk to us about you.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to join your spaces. Every time I join one of your spaces, I just feel so enlightened and motivated, and I definitely feel like I'm on the moon in a way because the conversations that are had here and just like the innovation that's happening is extremely rare. It's extremely special, and we're just so happy to be part of the Copernic Space community and hold a couple of different passports and partner with you guys in a larger capacity. So again, thanks for having me. And Samuel, I just wanted to say I thought what you were saying was pretty interesting. And one thing that also sort of spiked my curiosity, and I'd love to chat with you about it further, is what you all are doing in Bulgaria. I actually I speak fluent Bulgarian. I was born there. And
Wow,
yeah.
that's
So
amazing.
yeah, you never know, like that was actually my first language. So I would definitely be happy to chat with you. And my godfather, he is an artist and he's very well connected with the art community in Bulgaria. He's written several books and he's a painter, and again, he travels there all the time and just very well connected with like artists there. So let's definitely connect. I'm all about making connections. Um, and yeah, so a little bit about Fred. Fred is a meme, and we built him on the Solana blockchain, and he has been live. I mean, we launched him about just over 2 weeks ago, and our team right now is extremely focused on building out our community. Uh, uh, Sorry, there's a little bit of background noise there. We're extremely focused on building out our community, on getting the word out about Fred. There's a ton that's happening from just a marketing perspective. I bring over 15 years of marketing, branding, and affiliate marketing experience to the project. And so right now we're focused on building partnership with unique communities. One of those communities, or a couple of them, include the surfer and the skater community. And with Fred's edgy look, you can probably see like an image of him below. We have a couple team members that have joined. He's got a mullet. He identifies as a cat. Even though he's a bunny, like we tell people, like, yeah, I mean, he's a cat. He's a little dev. And so we're very focused on getting him integrated with different communities. I've made connections with one person in particular that's a surfer and has a podcast. We're going to be looking to sponsor his podcast and get integrated with that entire community. We're also releasing a song for Fred that's going to be on different platforms, including Spotify and Amazon. We're going to be building a game at some point for him too, and we're just building a lot of content right now for him too. Like there's a lot of different memes that are getting created. It's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite meets Nacho Libre. So very
So based on Lady Rocket, I know how much effort, thoughtfulness you have to put together before you can successfully create a community. So congratulations on your success. And we are looking forward to innovating together. I want to recognize quickly also RTF that is proposing some very innovative ideas for collaboration with my foundation, which pretty much I think I am together with my team and Spaceables and of course Grant and Copernic Space as a key sponsor, we are in a leadership position of being able to harness not only our innovation of where to be, why to be, how to contribute, but having a financial technological infrastructure like Copernic Space, which allows you to elevate your art or allows us to elevate and work together with you, not only physically in space, but capture a unique financial value, ownership value, and make you a participatory in something that is going to be huge, which is space economy. We are the first who will actually execute financial transactions, both on Moon and on Earth. Also, as you know, we are sending Bitcoin to the moon and Doge to the moon, and Doge is also engaged with us in a philanthropic way. So we have a menu of options that are incredible. And I want to recognize also Sarah. I've been sending you invitation to speak and other participants. But I don't know if you are in the situation where you cannot speak, but raise your hand if you would like to talk. I want to recognize Sarah as one of the very creative and incredible leader in organizing historical, financial, artistic technology assets that she's sending to the moon. Speaking of Bulgaria, I am delighted. I didn't know that this is where you were born because I was born in Poland, and
Our
so
neighbor.
that's not too far away. And I just spent almost 3 weeks in Poland interacting with key collectors of art, and we might be actually acquiring together a beautiful historical mansion that belonged to my family we started to own it in 1758. Okay, and then we sold it, I think it was like in 1800s. And now I am working with Sotheby's because I was trying to regain our property in Poland, and they found a way for us to reacquire our little castle or a big castle, and together with some other art collectors, the intent is to potentially transform it into space art exhibit and place and destination. And it's so we are looking at very incredible places to place art. By the way, I am here. I didn't mention to you that another reason that I am here is because across the street is the land where Saturn V, which is to me, Samuel, one of the most beautiful sculpture ever, is a Saturn V engine, which still majestically stands here down the road, but the land and the hotel stands pretty much where the Apollo 11 factory used to be. So we always want to be in authentic locations with authenticity of presence and ownership of the right to be here because we are doing something special. I see that Sarah is ready to join us. Meet Sarah, leader, passport holder, friend, incredible innovator. Please go ahead, Sarah.
Well, hello, my dear, and thank you to both Donna and Samuel for sharing their voice. It's just been a delight listening in the background. We were talking about passport holders in general. I had the privilege to chit chat a little bit with Lady Rocket earlier this morning, and in terms of vision. And what does vision mean when you're thinking of something bigger than yourself? And how does that equate? How do all of the sum of our parts make something far bigger? And so, it's kind of coming down to crunch time too. For those of us that have cargo, figuring out what that means. In many ways, it's a giant leap of faith. It's the faith of an open hand, where we're sending things to the lunar surface with the hopes of not just profiting ourselves, but profiting humanity as a whole. And so the narrative and the storytelling behind the items that we find so dear. And I think it's something we all face. If you've ever had an elderly loved one pass and escape their mortal coil, and you you sift through their things that they leave behind, and you wonder to yourself, why did this person think that this was so important? What was the memory, what was the nostalgia attached to it, that they would lug this thing around throughout the entirety of their lives? And us, as people who are left behind, we are charged with the duty of piecing that story together and making sure that those beautiful objects and things and memories are not forgotten. And what's so fascinating is that we have the blockchain. The blockchain allows us to give a voice to the voiceless in very powerful ways. And by emphasizing our assets and the things that we want to attach to the blockchain off world, it means that we're thinking of one humanity, not just our own, self purpose, right? And so, because I mean, when you think about it, you're on the lunar surface and you're looking back at the world. There are no borders, there are no cultures, there are no languages. It's one humanity. And so, art and music, they have a very profound place in our mission because they're universal languages. It speaks to who we are at our core as human beings, as a big old lump of cells and chemical processes and beautiful life. So I just wanted to come up and say thank you to the folks that are participating, and to those that did not get an opportunity to put something on the lunar surface. Your time is now, because you get to have access to passports. You get to have access to all of us and our cargo. So it's not just a one-man show, and it's not a one and done either, because once you have something on the lunar surface, you have to craft the narrative to make it important to other people as well. And so if you don't have anything going to the moon, and you are a part of our ecosystem and our holders and our spaceables, there are opportunities for you to acquire things that are on the moon, right? Or collaborations with folks that are here. Maybe we sent something that's so vitally important to your business model. Well, guess what? We're all part of the same family, and being able to negotiate those kinds of things, and having those interactions and having those touch points, human to human, just builds a bigger network. And especially when it comes to space economy, not all of us can afford to have stuff on the moon, right? The democratization of space starts with us single-handedly, human to human, interacting with one another and saying to each other, hey, you're really important, your ideas matter, and I want to give you space. That's kind of important, because there's a double meaning. To give someone space is to say, hey, I believe in you, and the sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning. So I just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you. Thank you so
Nope.
much. You beautifully led to recognize someone who couldn't join us yet, Grant Blaisdell, CEO and co-founder of Copernic Space, and yes, my son, that I am so proud of, because it is throughout his leadership and almost 2 years long investing, spending money, negotiating across multiple space stakeholders, because this is not SpaceX ultimately, which is the gateway to the legal, organizational aspects. Listen, Copernic Space made Moon accessible to you, affordable, because we break the financial barriers, because try to go out there and see how you can send something to the moon, own it in the registered fashion, have ability to work with us on figuring out pricing algorithm. So Copernic Space dedicated itself, because when Grant and I decided to dedicate our lives, and I spent a lot of years in Silicon Valley, in Los Angeles, in Monte Carlo, in Warsaw. When the Berlin Wall came down, I was there to bring technology as a democratization tool for wealth, social order, And probably one of the most proud moments in my life was where I worked together with the first free government of Poland to execute first free democratic elections using technology made by Americans. So I wanted to carry on this legacy and remove barriers of entry and educate you, inspire you, teach you how you can work with us so you can join going to the moon at the nickel, symbolically or even directly. There are a lot of you that we sponsor, supported, and paid for your cargo because we felt, like Sarah said, it is important about who is sending to the moon, why. We have a crypto bus here, or at least he was here a moment ago. Here he is, incredible geezer artist. The age you can surmise. He is now one of the most active participants in our moon mission. He developed his ability to become creative artist at the age of the geezer. This is what we love. At the same time, I successfully negotiate with mega brands at the prices that they should pay in order to have access to what? To you, to me, to Lady Rocket Foundation, to Copernic Space, because we can give them access to innovation, new messaging that is relevant to what's important on planet Earth. Vogue advertisement takes you only so far. And I have to tell you, I'm thrilled with the progress of my communication with L'Oreal, with whose CEO and executive team I met in Las Vegas, because I encourage you, wear your mission, do your mission. We are creating an incredible, very expensive t-shirts line together with some brands, because you know what? I love to wear NFTs. This is art. Those are NFTs. This goes to the moon, and this is a philanthropy. And this t-shirt was in Paris. Okay, so be innovative, and multiply your vision. And this is why I am happy to work so much with our new Fred community, because they have multiplicity of personalities. Okay, they morph, they address real communities, and we are real. So anyway, let me see. We had Mark here in the room for a moment. I missed him, Walton Peacock. Please keep an eye on him. Mark is a senior executive of digital and AI for Purina, and I am mentioning him because I am sending cats to the moon, because we are fundraising to protect and save cats and dogs, of course, too. And Mark is joining me, and he became also investors in Copernic Space, and he's bringing avalanche of experience of how to bring mega dollars from brands, because we have, like Sarah said, story, action, proof, authenticity, and power of harnessing blockchain, cryptocurrency, space to do something good on planet Earth. So listen, Donna and Dan is here. If you would like to add, tell us a little bit more about how we can, what to expect next. And this is like a first liftoff, you know, because the rockets always have like 3 liftoffs. We're planning to be at the Olympic site, both Donna and I, but for a variety of reasons, logistically, we had to improvise and do something else. So Donna, I think we will have to invite our guests for a follow-up when we'll be really in the Olympic sites. You at the museum, me at the Los Angeles, but I am delighted we are here together. And of course, we want to listen to your son before we go.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I have to figure out how to share it, but I know that I do have the video up and ready, and he's super excited to be able to share the his version of "Fly Me to the Moon." I
Uh-huh.
think you'll enjoy the version that we were able to film in. Anticipation of this space. And so, what to expect next is, if you're interested in either being a sponsor of the program or being interested in getting involved in the program, just go ahead and DM me, and I can reach out to Lady Rocket, and we can go ahead and get started. I am super excited about this program and very anxious to get started. And as I mentioned, we already have one classroom in particular I know that's super excited and ready to get on board. So if you're ready for liftoff as well and you want to go ahead and get started, just you can reach out to me. I also have a a Google form that I'm going to, after this space, I'll put on as a tweet. So you can fill out the form and then you can join like a mailing list to see if you're interested. Again, in
Yes.
sponsoring or in being a part of the program, because we're in need of both. So.
And Lady Rocket Foundation is going to bring authenticity and execution and track record, resourcefulness and expertise of working and delivering authentic space inspiration classes, which we are expanding to include space entrepreneurship, space fashion, space art connected to NFT. So I will be, Walton Peacock doesn't know it yet, but I will be asking her to contribute her incredible knowledge because she's also a collector. She knows communities. She's an artist herself. So my hidden agenda, and I'm just going to say it here, Walton Peacock, is to attract you also as Lady Rocket Foundation teacher who can explain to the young generation NFTs and show them how to do it, because I think, and connect it to of course our real life activities, because if your students can draw a rocket because he knows his art is going to be shown in the front of the SpaceX, in real life, it carries completely different dimension also for sponsors. And I would love to collaborate with Samuel to connect you and our plans for Denver with a launch of Spaceables, which will be used to fundraise among brands for our new programs. And I am treating Denver as a new program, and I would love to take advantage of our door opening with Louis Vuitton of the world and others, and figure out how together you, Samuel, Donna, our education, and Copernic Space and Lady Rocket Foundation can gang up and create irresistible space asset offer that could finance expansion of our activities. So looking forward to inviting you to be a part of that process as well. And of course, music and sending in space music of the students is something that we already started to do. Speaking of music, we have Quartz here, who is also passport holder, incredible producer of music and composer. So I want to invite you to maybe play a few tunes of the Chopin, but also we have Dan. And again, I'm sending you guys invitations to speak, but looks like you are not getting it for some reasons.
Yeah, I don't think Dan is going to be able to
So
come
I
up.
was just talking to Dan in DMs. He said
Okay,
he's ready to stream the song, but he cannot speak until after he streams it.
okay,
So he wants to send people up to the nest where I have pinned up the song that he's going to stream,
okay.
and he wanted to stream that.
Fantastic. And we have also Robert, the passport holder, who created a beautiful song that I'm very humble when I hear it, because it talks about Copernic Space and the Rocket Foundation. But Robert, if you could also play it, let's say like a half of it, because we have to complete shortly, or at least I'm recognizing you. Recognizing Esther, the winner, whose art I am wearing proudly right here, and who got attention and support of Getty Images. Listen, Getty Images, when they figured out what I'm doing, they for it, okay? It's one of the ways that we are using our NFTs and artists. So this is, here I am wearing the art, It was taken in the front of the authentic art during Paris Olympics, and it's going to help to contribute finance, our plans. Okay, CryptoBuzz, go ahead. 60 seconds.
Lady Rocket, how are you today? My goodness gracious. Thank you for bringing up that beautiful picture. I love that picture.
Well, you are creator of the poster, so
I
I am
know that.
recognized. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun picture. I really enjoyed that one. And that's the absolute excitement that I get out of coming to our spaces. And I call this our spaces because I am one pass. I own more than one pass.
Passport holder, yeah.
Thank you. And and as the geezers, we own a couple more over there, and we're really involved in this whole community, and that's what Lady Rocket keeps doing. I got to do some artwork earlier this week for her for another poster that was the wings over the Rockies, and
Yes, that's right.
and so that's what's happening in this community. Every week we're in a new place. We're having more excitement. And you were talking about F1. Well, Lady Rocket has asked me to develop a set of NFTs for every time we have one of those shows to give away to somebody for some reason at that point. So, this there's always something going on that's exciting, and I'm excited, by the way.
Yes,
Could
thank you.
tell.
And the real, because I do not sit on the couch in my home talking to you about Formula One. I am either at the race, or I have someone at the race, or I am at least next to the Formula One car. Where can I find one here in Los Angeles anytime I want to? It's at the famous Peterson's Museum, which has the most pricey car collections in the world. And guess what? As a Lady Rocket Foundation and Copernic Space, we sponsor sending Peterson's Museum to the moon for the purpose of exploring how we can support each other. So this is why I have special privileges and I can host my events at this ultra exclusive location. And Formula One will be coming to you from Austin, Texas with a very special show. So yes, that's another way we can support education, because we can engage students in a real hands-on activities. We have with extremely exciting events, from rocket launches to Formula One to owning our own rockets. So Samuel, if you are still here, or maybe he took here you are, Samuel. Listen, let's connect, because 4 rockets are waiting to be told when, how, what access they should provide if, as we discuss, we want to launch creation of the art at the moment where they are preparing to manufacture the rocket, because we have rights to tell them which model and when to manufacture it. It's unprecedented. We'll be announcing it soon. So Lady Rocket is leading, foundation is leading it also as a philanthropic endeavor. And passport holders, you are invited to put Fred on the rocket, okay, or get sponsor for Fred, so you can go on the rocket and be a crypto that really goes in space. Okay, so Quartz, if you want to quickly play your beautiful music, and otherwise, Dan, please tell me what next we can do, so you can stream or you can play and play the song, and then I will let you go, guys.
So, aloha, Lady Rocket and Watson and Donna. Thank you for inviting me onto the stage. Yeah, I'm ready to share Nocturne if I can play it for a second.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you for sharing the stage, Lady
Of
Rocket.
course,
To the moon, you guys. To the moon, you guys.
I am forever grateful. It was a version of Chopin, prepared generously by Quasar, humbly also for me, because Chopin is my favorite composer. Originally lived in Poland, Polish, had to escape to Paris because of the Russian persecution, political persecution, because he was a freedom fighter, because music fights for freedom. And I want to dedicate, I'm getting moved. I want to dedicate what you just played in music of Chopin to fighters and artists of Ukraine. We are sending Ukrainian art to the moon because we want to make a statement about necessity to bring peace and support Ukraine, because we should be better on Earth before we go and land on the Mars. That's pretty much part of my mission. So I want to thank you for contributing your music, and Robert, if you want to play uh, a little bit of your Lady Rocket song. If not, we can do it the next time. I also want to recognize Dolores. Her Omega art hopefully will be able to be shown as we are persevering agreements on pricings, etc. And if anyone else would like to share, please.
We have Dan.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Dan, yes.
okay.
Dan cannot come up as a speaker until after it streams. So what he is saying is everybody needs to click the link in the top of the Jumbotron, and he's going to stream the music now.
Okay, link at the top of the Jumbotron. Okay. Okay, seat. Okay. So should we click?
Yep,
Okay.
click on it now.
Okay.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words,